can you tell us what brought you in to see us, how your son has done, and what that has meant to you?
Well, how I became aware of Mind Institute, I guess you could say it was a blessing from God. Heather Bennett is my friend on Facebook, and she posted something one day about working with children with ADHD, ADD, and she was starting up a new program with working with children in the neurological sense. And my son is 10 years old. I've had issues with him since he has been, I've noticed there was some issues with him since he about a year old. And so I've been dealing with him and basically like behavior-wise since that age. And as he became older, preschool age, I was trying to still work with him, getting him into doctors, because I knew there were some issues that needed to be dealt with before he started school. So I've been dealing with this for a long time with him, and it seemed to me I wasn't getting any good results from doctors. Different type of medications were being used. It seemed nothing was working. Behavior was, getting worse, so to speak. Learning disabilities are taking place at this time. And so approximately a week before I saw Heather Bennett's post on Facebook, had a meeting at the school with his teachers. It was basically an IEP meeting. There was another gentleman present who works at the Tompkins Center, who suggested that I have Tanner neurologically tested. And I told him that I had thought about that, because my mother is a retired registered nurse, and she had mentioned the same thing. So it was from that conversation that I had with him, it wasn't even a week that I saw her post on Facebook. So I'm like, well, thank you, Jesus. This might be an answer. So I sent her an inbox message and told her, that this was something that I was definitely interested in, him being tested neurologically. And so she messaged me back, and I gave her first a little rundown, little history about Tanner, and from the early ages of preschool to where we were at that time. And so she messaged me back, gave me the phone number to call, and I made an appointment. And our first appointment, we went to the went to the office, and he was assessed, and we've just been taking it from there. So we had been going to the office probably a couple months, and then she mentioned about starting up the new services with the Mind Institute. And she briefly explained to me what it was going to be like, what she was doing, what they were looking for, what the goal was for Tanner specifically, and I loved it, and I'm like, okay, I'm game for this. So that's how we basically got started in it. Personally, I've known Heather for many, many years, so it was easy for me to, basically talk to her and let her know what was going on with me, and the relationships that I've had with her over the years made it a little bit more easier for me. So of course, when we got to the office, she made us feel welcome and everything. And so basically she said, we were going to be among the first group of select patients to start this treatment, and which I found it kind of exciting. I've never been the first in anything big and major like this. So she told me to be on the lookout, watch for changes, because of course, I was going to play a big part on letting her know also what I see at home, his behavior at school, and so I've been doing that, and I can't believe some of the changes I have seen. He's to me, he seems a little more attentive now, and I'm aware that this is a slow process, because she did explain that to me. That it could take anywhere from 6 months to a year, maybe a little longer. Just depends on each individual. So, and I understood that, but I have seen some good things happening, some changes, and he seems to be a little more attentive, a little more articulate on what he does, which is good. And I have a 12-and-a-half-year-old honor student at home, and Tanner is now, to me, more articulate than he is. And I think, and even his teacher has told me he's seen some good changes. So that's a big plus for me. It's just like, a prayer being answered, so.
And the doctor lowered his medication, or like you had him take it?
He's still on the same medication, the same dosage, hasn't lowered it yet.
Did they come off one of them?
He came off one of them.
Yes.
Yes, he came off one of them. So he's still on the 2. He let the 3rd one go, but he's still on the 2. Now, personally at home, and I haven't told Dr. Snyder this though, but I've personally have cut the night medication out. Okay. So that's on my end. I'm trying to also wean him off from it, because I want him off the medication, and I feel. I talked to Heather about this too, and so we're on the same page. That's what everybody wants, is for him to be off the medication, and so I have taken him off the nightly medication. He still takes the one in the morning to go to school.
Okay, but you've still been seeing the positive changes, even though you've been able to reduce the medication that the doctors had him on for months,
years. Yes, years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been on so much over the years. So yeah. Well, good things.
Well, that's fantastic.
Right.
We appreciate you bringing him here and having the chance to work with him, and just to see the lights come on, to see him become more expressive.
Right.
Just here in the office, and see him smile more.
Right.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I see him stopping and thinking more. So maybe that's a bridge that's being strengthened in a neurologically, and I think it's working. And I understand. We may even have a little longer road to travel. I don't want him to be perfect, but I think that he can be at a point to where he's not medically dependent on medication, and that's my goal. So, and I think we're going to get there.
And it's been just under 5 months, correct?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and everything you're doing for him, and hopefully that's made your life even better, and of course his.
Exactly. Thank you.